The following is a presentation of the BellyUpSports Media Network.
The ball sends it over to Edward Robles. Go! InsertName FC! Let's go, InsertName FC! What is up, everybody? My name is Hector Flores, host of the InsertName FC podcast, and member of the BellyUpSports Media Network. You can also find the audio, you can watch the video version of these episodes on YouTube. Subscribe. Make sure you guys check it out over there because we're trying to grow our YouTube channel. And also GolzTV. You can check us out, GolzTV. That's the two ways you can see the video version of these podcast recordings. And, of course, you can see the audio versions on all things podcasting. So check us out, InsertName FC. This episode is going to be a really cool one. We got Jose Tellez from GolzTV to come on and talk headlines, overreactions. So what this episode, so he's here to talk. And he's also going to be here for our closing segment. So if you guys remember, we were going to start a new segment at the beginning of every month when we record the beginning of every month, because I know everyone's going to say last week was technically a new month, but we did record it still in February. So whenever we record an episode the first week of the month, we're going to start a segment called Build a Player. Now, if you guys remember the last time we did Build a Player, it was awful. So we made some adjustments, made some corrections. So we changed the format. I think it's going to be a lot more enjoyable this time around. So and Jose is going to come in and test it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So can't wait for that. So obviously, overreactions, headlines, players of the week, games to watch this coming weekend, and wrap this show up with Build a Player, which is going to be a very interesting challenge to see if Jose Tellez has the ball knowledge to build a quality player. So we'll see how that goes. But all right, that's all I really got, man. Once again, man, make sure you guys check us out. Follow us on Instagram at InsertNameFC. Also on the X, InsertNameFC. Check us out on TikTok, insert.name.fc, where you're going to see clips from these episodes. So hopefully if you guys like what you see in those clips, come check us out once again on all things podcasting and YouTube and GolzTV. So without further ado, let's get going with this episode.
Are you ready to elevate your sports betting experience? Look no further than DraftKings Sportsbook. Why choose DraftKings Sportsbook? Unmatched variety. Bet on your favorite sports leagues or discover new ones to follow. Live betting. Test your instincts and feel the adrenaline as you bet in real time while the game unfolds. Promotions and boosted odds. DraftKings keeps the excitement going with a range of promotions, odds boosts, and special offers. And a user-friendly interface. Whether you're a seasoned bettor or new to the game, DraftKings' intuitive platform makes placing bets a breeze. Ready to dive in? BellyUpSports has partnered with DraftKings Sportsbook to give you an exclusive offer. Sign up at dkng.co/BellyUp150 and new customers will get $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet $5 or more. Don't miss out on this opportunity to take your love for sports to the next level. Sign up today and let the games begin. Please gamble responsibly. 21 years or older. Eligibility restrictions apply. See website for details.
All right, guys. We got Jose Tellez from GolzTV coming on to talk some football. Obviously, because also it's so fucking weird talking all by myself. Once again, I gotta do what I gotta do. But yeah, talking by yourself is kind of weird. I do live off interactions, and of course, brought in Jose Tellez because he and quote his ball knowledge is fucking immaculate. So
it's immaculate, bro. It's top tier. It's elite, as some people would say. Yeah, no, Hector, thanks for bringing me in, bro. I love chatting, well, with you, of course, right? But just bantering right after a lot of the games have taken place, right? We're recording on a Sunday night. This is going to be good, bro. Everything's fresh. I'm ready.
All right. So obviously, we always start things off with overreactions. So what's your overreaction from this past weekend?
From this past weekend, I'm gonna stick with MLS because we're only in week 2. And specifically, every person who is jumping on, if you weren't already on the Inter Miami bandwagon, they're jumping on it now. And I will say, if anybody here tunes into Wake Up MLS, our show and our takes kind of got dragged this weekend, mainly because we had a lot of, decent amount of hot takes, but I will also say we had some valid takes based on what we saw in the first week of games, first 2 games specifically for Inter Miami. They didn't look good. They didn't play well. Bro, we had everybody coming after us because Suarez hadn't scored, hadn't played well. We thought maybe Campana should be starting. And of course, right? It's the most MLS thing in the world. He comes out, he scores 2 goals in the first 11 minutes, 3 goal contributions on the day. Messi gets on the score sheet twice. It's a 5-0 drubbing of Orlando. And I just want everybody to pump the brakes, bro. This is the biggest overreaction by the MLS community, specifically those who think that their football knowledge is top tier because Suarez decided to show up one of the 3 games that he's played so far in MLS. That's great, bro, but it's not the flex that everybody thinks it is. Like, if he goes on to build on this and continues to score more goals and be the prolific goal scorer we've all seen him become or see him be in years past, right? In my opinion, El Pistolero is the greatest goal scorer of our generation. But can we relax, bro? All that everybody's doing right now is just piling up the pressure on this man. That's all that you're doing. Now I expect him fully to do this week in and week out. And when he doesn't do that, because maybe his knees are going to bug him one weekend, he's aging, maybe he slows down, maybe Campana starts, whatever it may be. If the stats don't match up with the hype that you're giving this man, trust me, not only myself, but everybody on Wake Up MLS is going to have a field day with it. And it's not just our show. I think anybody else who's been critical of Inter Miami up to this point. So it's a great week for you guys. I'm glad that, MLS fans are having fun with it, but relax, bro. Let this man do this for consecutive weeks on end, and then we can overhype everything that we're seeing on the pitch. Other than that, bro, I mean, that's my biggest overreaction, I think. And I could be a boomer yelling into the microphone based on this take, but bro, let's stop blazing the man for 10 seconds. Let's just see what he does after this. That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah, I mean, I've made a lot of jokes about Luis Suarez about he's gonna be iced up a lot. I think he might have that ice bath before his ice bath at this point, because he's not getting any younger.
No.
They're gonna have to load manage. They're gonna eventually have to load manage this team, like Jordi Alba, Sergio Busquets, and Messi. Like, I mean, they opted out of a tournament that we will cover in this episode, but at the end of the day, like the only worry about Inter Miami is that can these guys play a full season, along with the other add-ons that are going to be coming, because you got CONCACAF Champions Cup that's coming for them. Now they're going to be in that. And so you're going to mix that. You're going to have those weird midweek matches that eventually is going to come up in the MLS. So it's all those concerns. And so, I mean, we'll see what happens in due time. But I saw a lot of people. Also, a lot of people came at me because obviously I picked Orlando City to win the MLS Cup. And
it can still happen, bro. It can still happen, bro.
I'm a firm believer. I believe in Orlando City. They came out with an amazing badge for their. They brought back the old badge for a reason, So I like the team. Sue me, please don't. But
I mean, bro, that's okay. Like, that's what I'm saying. Is like the whole community. It's like, for those who are watching that are brand new to Major League Soccer, I just want to drop one dime of knowledge here. This happens. It is the most MLS thing of all time for games to be going one way, and then in one weekend or consecutive weekends for everything to flip on its head, right? And it wasn't just this result. There were a bunch of weird results this past weekend, and all I can chalk it up to is, bro, this is MLS. It's what makes betting on the games fun. It's what makes talking about the games and predicting the results week in and week out fun, because you just don't really know what you're going to get. And if you do give a hot take, which I won't say Orlando City winning MLS Cup is like a super spicy take. I think it's good. It's like a good hot take. And if it comes true, bro, you're a genius. But what sucks about this equally is that if you don't, right, if Orlando City don't make playoffs or get knocked out early, then it's like, bro, Hector was just talking out of his ass. And I'm like, I don't believe that, man. I think things can happen, things change. It's okay for opinions to change over time. But all I'm saying is that for everybody that's hyping up Luis Suarez after one positive performance of the 3 games he's played so far, it's not the flex you think it is.
Yeah, no, 100%. So my overreaction is, you better count your days, Gil. You better count your fucking days. Oh my, you used to rig matches for us. Who the hell do you think you are?
What a great day for Barca fans that day was. Although I will say, bro, I would have been livid right there with you. I couldn't even imagine.
I was like, was there a foul? Like, what was I was so dumbfounded of what just transpired. I mean, weirdly enough, I was also, like when you play FIFA and you think you have a good chance at like making one more attack in stoppage time, and then they blow the whistle on you,
bro.
It's not that bad, but this is where you're still in an attacking position, and the guy didn't even look. He didn't even, as soon as the corner was kicked, he literally looks away and then calls the game. And I mean, to be fair, you were down 2-0 to start the game. So it could have been, in hindsight, maybe we should have started the match a little bit better. And then it was also weird watching them wear the jerseys from last year for that match. That was kind of weird. So it was just a weird match in general. But yeah, Gil, you better count your days, bro. If I find you, I'm a be fucking Liam Neeson on you right now. That's what it is.
A special set of skills, bro.
I will troll you. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna roast you as much as humanly possible. It will be my new mission, is just to find you on Twitter and just remind everybody that you suck.
Bro, man, I swear, Gil Manzano is like he's the reason most people who watch La Liga like loathe it, because anybody who watches La Liga in this day and age, right? Whether you're a Madrid or a Barca fan, or maybe you just started picking it up because more, USMNT players are working their way over to that league or whatever, right? Dude, like the refs, in my opinion, have actually been the worst globally in La Liga, in my opinion, this season. I think you look at the Prem, bro. You look at Major League Soccer dealing with backup referees or scabs, whatever you want to call them. There have been times where like the 2 leagues are comparable in terms of how bad the calls really are. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Gil Manzano, I think, has a history of this too. I think he's done this a lot with certain clubs, certain big clubs, like right before halftime, never before the final whistle, at least that I've seen before.
Yeah.
But man, I think he set a new record even for himself with this one. Dumbfounded is not even a strong enough word. It's like, brother wasn't even watching the play, was just staring at his clock and hit the whistle. Like, it's crazy to think that a ref could do that. But as a Barca fan, all I can do is really sit back and kind of chuckle at it a little bit and hope to God that never happens to us, which it probably will. I'm sure it will. But it's kind of cool to, I guess, not be the limelight of the drama this week.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would say fair is maybe when he looked at his watch, maybe he had an Apple Watch on him, and he got the text message like, "You coming?" So maybe if that's the case, I'll say, you know what, he might not get as much as he can. He is a referee. Everyone hates him. But mind you, this was the highlight of a referee this past week. And mind you, there was a guy that was wearing an Inter Miami jersey. The replacement got replaced for the Inter Miami game. So
I saw the pictures, by the way, bro. That ref, bro, he had all kinds of Inter Miami swag on, taking pictures with fans, like all kinds of stuff. Basically, like either you or myself going in and reffing a Dynamo or an FC Dallas game. It's just like what? Like, how was this guy even chosen to do this? I don't know. That's a whole different story for another time. But yeah, bro, it's Manzano. He might have set a new precedent for referees this past weekend.
Yeah, so count your days, bro. Count your days. All right, man. So we're gonna start things off with some headlines, and of course, like I mentioned, it's MLS gives a giant fuck you to the U.S. Open Cup. So this was the thing going on from actually before the year ended. Last year, which was that MLS wanted to not be in the U.S. Open Cup. They wanted to add their MLS Next Pro teams. But in all actuality, you kind of technically did that anyway. I don't know why the hell. Why does it matter if just let them wear the first team kids? Like, what's it gonna hurt you? Like,
They should have done it that way. They honestly, like, I don't know why MLS had to say anything. Like, honestly, behind, or publicly anyway, behind closed doors, you probably could have been like, "Hey, listen, owners, just tell your managers to not play your first team. Play your next pro team. Have them wear the first team kits, whatever. Go out there, represent their clubs well. And even if they go out there and get embarrassed, is it that embarrassing? How much viewership does Open Cup have versus Major League Soccer regular season? Like, I don't know, right? Those are questions that we still need to get answered. But I think I don't know. I got a hot take about this, to be honest, man. I still think a lot of the U.S. soccer crowd, especially the Open Cup fanatics, and I would say fanatics in quotes because there are plenty of games that I've seen. I don't know about you, Hector, but I've seen that don't have great turnouts, that don't have great viewership, even on YouTube or anywhere
You're
else.
talking to the Houston Dynamo fan here, so I mean, if you want a definition of great turnout, so I mean,
I guess it's subjective, but like, bro, I think at times, and I'm sure I'll get blamed for this. And again, this is someone who desperately wants soccer to be cool in America, but I don't think getting super pissed off about the Open Cup getting slighted, which is what happened exactly. They got slighted. I think it's an overreaction a little bit, not all the way, but a little bit. I think we're selectively choosing to get mad at this so that we have another reason to get mad at Major League Soccer. But in reality, I mean, this could have been conducted behind closed doors in the exact same way. I don't think anyone would have batted an eye at it.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, let's be honest. Yes, the U.S. Open Cup has some history. It's the only historical thing that, when it comes to soccer in the U.S., that we have. This is which should be the equivalent to the FA Cup, but we treat it like the Carabao Cup. And is it cool? Yes, it's fun. But like I'll say it like this, as a Dynamo fan, when the Dynamo won last year's Open Cup, it was more exciting because that was like fine. We're like, oh shit, we're actually kind of good. And so like winning that, plus we were still in a playoff position. So there was like this is just like like a cherry on top of what the season was looking like so far. Like that this team was being competitive and getting respect back in the MLS. And that's something that we haven't had in years. That's going back to the Dominic Kinnear era. Versus the 2018 US Open Cup, our mentality was like, our season sucks. Let's just win this stupid trophy just so we have something. That I said that myself. I was like, look, at this rate, we're not going anywhere. So let's just win this stupid thing since we're in it.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think, and that's the way teams should treat it. That's the way fans should treat it. It's a cool new trophy to go after. And like, if you're not familiar with, I guess, how, far U.S. Open Cup dates back, it's like literally 1914, 1915, somewhere around there. The most historical trophy we have in this country. And I would say on this side of the world in general. And I respect the U.S. Open Cup, but I'll also be realistic about it and saying that how many games didn't even get close to filling up seats or stadiums, right? How many fans that are adamantly shouting and defending the U.S. Open Cup on Twitter or social media never went to a live Open Cup match, didn't even tune into a percentage of the matches available to them. I understand where everybody's coming from. This is not a move that Major League Soccer should be able to make, right? Just decide that we're going to bow out of the most historical competition in the country. I agree. That should not be allowed to happen. There should be safeguards around that at the U.S. Soccer Federation level. With that said, there's so much good that Major League Soccer has done for this country. It is the most successful league in the history of this country. No one can dispute that, regardless of what help it's gotten from U.S. Soccer or anything else. And I'm not saying that Don Garber and the current leadership of Major League Soccer are the right people to take this sport and grow it moving forward. I'm not saying that at all. But they have proven to be the right people to get us here up to this point, at least in my opinion. I think MLS has so much to be proud of in terms of what it's been able to do to grow this sport on this side of the world. Bro, we have Messi here. We've had Beckham here. Like, how many international superstars have we had? Look at the valuations of some of these clubs, and some of those things might be, BS or whatever, right? There's a lot of fluff that goes into that. But while this is a very hot topic and something that I know is very controversial, I'm still going to say that there's two sides to a story. It's not all MLS is evil and Open Cup is good and we should just be building up the Open Cup and lower league soccer as much as we possibly can. We should do those things, but do it while being realistic about what's gotten us here to begin with. So I have my whole soapbox that I could go on about this, but at the end of the day, this is a dispute. I hope they get it resolved. It's not the only dispute that's plaguing MLS and US and just American soccer in general right now. MLS they don't look great. They don't look great right now as a league in terms of everything that they're kind of battling on the PR front. So this is one of many issues, or one of several issues, I'll say, and hopefully they just find a way to get it resolved sooner or later, and hopefully it gets resolved by keeping MLS sides in this very historical tournament.
No, yeah, 100%. I think also, I mean, kind of going back to like what you were saying in your tangent about the US Open Cup, like we can't even get a TV deal for this thing. Like we're watching sometimes we're watching this shit on YouTube, and it's like sometimes it's on US Soccer's YouTube, and then sometimes it's on Bleacher Report's YouTube. So it's like there's not even like and if it wasn't for Messi and in Inter Miami, this was not going to be available on Telemundo, So like, to like let that sink in, because I don't ever remember watching the U.S. Open Cup final in a Spanish broadcast. Like I remember, it was one time on ESPN Plus. There was that one random time that it was on. Now it's on CBS Sports. It's like this weird thing where it just keeps hopping on to different things. So like clearly it's not very marketable, and so like for that, so that one, poor attendance, and then so like obviously it's not easily accessible when it comes to television, and so I think that's like other things that like that's more of a U.S. Open Cup problem, not an MLS problem, because they're just playing, they're participating in it, like they don't have a stake in that game. It's not an MLS tournament, and I mean, yes, of course, MLS currently not the prettiest place, especially with the referee dispute. Obviously the messy glazing is still everything everyone's always gonna be upset about. I think the US Open Cup was just something else for people to be mad about. And I don't think it's like as big of a deal, but like obviously like the MLS was doing this anyways. Like technically their MLS Next Pro team was going out there and playing in the US Open Cup, at least in the early rounds, and then until they got to a semifinal or a final, then you start seeing more of the first team players. So I think that's like kind of, have we ever taken this tournament seriously? The answer is really not at all.
I don't think so. Yeah, and I think what's crazy is that most teams on average play like maybe 2 Open Cup games. Like on average, most MLS teams, you get a small handful every year. So like again, I think the execution by Major League Soccer was poor. Like they could have gone about this a number of different ways behind closed doors and never publicly diminished the value of US Open Cup the way that they did. But like you said before, I think they're only doing it because it's proven to be unsuccessful by a number of measuring sticks up to this point. I think if it was as marketable or as profitable or as valuable to Major League Soccer as it could be, Leagues Cup wouldn't exist. I firmly believe that. There would have been no need to create a separate tournament because the most historical one that our country's ever seen would have been more than enough to be enticing to Major League Soccer as not just a league, but as an entire governing body and club ownership involved. And keep in mind, for those who believe that Don Garber is just out to tank U.S. soccer or to just be, the emperor of this thing called Major League Soccer, I think at the end of the day, he's doing what most business stakeholders of that position do, right? Like a chairman of the board, if that ever was a thing, or anything else, they protect their stakeholders. His stakeholders are the MLS club owners. He is representing them. He is their voice. So I think that if we're going to hold him to some kind of bar, then we need to look at every MLS club owner and hold them to that same bar, right? This is a Major League Soccer problem, not a Don Garber problem, at least in my opinion. So I think there's a lot of ways that we kind of pick this apart, but no matter what, this is not solely a MLS is out to get the Open Cup or out to tank the Open Cup. They're taking these actions because they believe it's in their best interest based on what the Open Cup has done for this league up to this point.
No, exactly. And also, I at the end of the day, we got to give Don Garber as much props that he deserves. One, he was not a soccer mind. Didn't have a soccer background. This dude was working for the NFL at one point. If it wasn't for Robert Kraft, like this guy wouldn't have even had this position. And mind you, MLS was on the brink of being discontinued if it wasn't for Don Garber. So I mean, at the end of the day, the man has some, he has the right to have leeway. Like he has the right to have a controversial decision every once in a while because of if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have the 30 MLS teams that we're going to have, obviously in the future season. But so I mean, at the end of the day, that's also that. But I will say, MLS did put out to the teams that you can opt into the tournament if you wanted to, and as well the option to send their MLS Next side. Now, I think there is a benefit for the MLS Next Pro teams to go in there. One, it's a good chance for them. I think it's a good way to see where, because let's be honest, a lot of these teams are mostly covered by the academies. So yep. I'm a big proponent for the academy. Obviously, I worked at the academy at one point. So I think it's a great opportunity, not only for these guys that are trying to fight for a spot on the first team, but for these academy players to see what that next level looks like. Because, and I'm sure, Jose, you can even speak on that being a former academy player yourself, playing against other academy players, playing against guys in your same age group, while that's fun, you're not going to know until you go to that next level and really see what you can do when you have to play against a grown man that this is his job to be playing this. So yeah. I think that's important. I think that's a really good addition to give the MLS Next Pro team an option to participate in the tournament.
Yeah, and both of our clubs are in, bro. Dynamo and Dallas, and of course with Dallas, it's literally called the Lamar Hunt Trophy. So if we weren't in, that would have been a travesty. But I think, with the teams that have opted in, with those who have opted in with an MLS Next team, kudos to all of those clubs. I'm not going to read off the list, but there's more than a few. Kudos to those clubs, and I agree with everything you said about the academy players. I think the MLS Next side should be involved, as many of them as possible, because the only way you get better and level up your game is to take your talent to the next level. I don't know, when I was at FC Dallas, like we used to scrimmage against the first team every week, just about. It's the only way that we could gauge where we were against better competition. So I'm excited for this. It is going to feel a little bit different, not having quite as many MLS sides in the 2024 Open Cup, but I still think the Open Cup has potential. I still think that there's a way to make this thing very marketable, even if there aren't quite as many top tier sides in the tournament this time around. So we'll see what happens. But I specific what I'm looking for is I want to really see a lot of those very angry, very noisy fans who were advocating very strongly for the Open Cup on Twitter, probably for the first time ever on Twitter, to show up. Those people better be the ones marketing the hell out of this thing, bringing people to come watch, come join, sharing the stream links, whatever it may be, however you choose to advocate for it. But if you're going to be that upset when MLS makes a controversial decision like this, I expect that feeling to carry through all the way to when matches get played and how you choose to make people aware of that. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely keep that same energy.
Yep.
So there's 8 MLS teams that will be in this tournament, which is Atlanta United, Sporting Kansas City, LAFC, Real Salt Lake, San Jose Earthquakes, the Seattle Sounders, and of course, like Jose mentioned, FC Dallas and the Houston Dynamo. And obviously you guys know I hate the phrase defending champions because the logic makes no fucking sense. There's it's not like the Dynamo is like, here you go, here's our trophy. This isn't wrestling. We're not doing any of that stuff. Yep. It's not like there's it's not like FC Dallas can appear with the money in the bank and be like, we want the 2006 MLS Cup.
Imagine, that'd be awesome.
Don Garber, take notes.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, bro. I think I'm gonna tune in. We'll see what happens. But it's a weird topic to go back and forth on because there's so much context that I think so many fans leave out. But no matter what, it is a tournament that should be around and we should be celebrating it.
Yeah, definitely. So I can't wait so we won't see the MLS teams until the round of 16. So, but I mean, it's going to be cool to see like how the USL Championship teams do, how the MLS Next Pro teams do. And then maybe we see that random group of construction workers that, no, they're probably not. I mean, like,
they're probably not making it very far. It happens like once every like half decade, I swear. There's always like a fourth division side that comes out of nowhere. They only practice part-time, and you're like, oh my God, they're going up against FC Dallas or something. But yeah, I mean, I don't think that happens. I think I will be paying attention a lot more of the championship, the USL championship sides, to see which ones can now make it a round or two further than in years past. I think it's going to be interesting.
yeah, definitely for sure. But all right, we're gonna move on, just like the MLS did with the U.S. Open Cup. All right, we're gonna talk about your club, Jose. I know.
God.
You got you took some jabs on me on Gil. Count your days, motherfucker. Uh, but hey, Barcelona, man. So they are teasing the fuck out of Nike now. So if you guys don't know, Nike is still under contract with Barcelona until 2026, which is 2 years from now. And they do have a 2-year option extension. So yeah, but Barcelona are looking to renegotiate or possibly terminate their 20-year relationship that they have built with Nike, which at this point is like I've always personified Nike with Barcelona. I don't think I've ever seen a non-Nike Barcelona kit. And if you do, that thing must be very valuable and very fragile. Because that's 20 years.
20 years. Yeah. I have one. I have a Kelme Barcelona
that was
kit.
The brand.
Yeah, that was the last time, and it was honestly, bro, like it's hideously beautiful. It's got like the Barca, just the Barca in cursive, like all over, like it's a word mark all over the kit. The colors are interesting, and the Kelme, if people remember that brand, it's got like the little paw print. It's interesting. Yeah, man, look, this whole deal by Barcelona, and the dispute they're in with Nike, it's got a couple different angles to it, but the big points to drive home are the terms of the deal are not terrible. They're just not the greatest considering how many other outfitters have popped up into the space that have been working with clubs as big or almost as big as Barcelona. So that's one side of it. But the other side, the much more controversial side, is that Nike actually has like this deal that is very, very one-sided with Barcelona. They actually have, as far as I know, right, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but they have kind of, I don't want to call them these backdoor relationships, but I would say these third-party relationships with other retailers that allow Nike to monetize Barcelona kits in a way that sees Barcelona get zero money from it, zero revenue from that. And they're really only getting revenue from the shirt sales themselves. And so the direct shirt sales, I should say, from Nike themselves. And so that to me is when you look at a club that unfortunately, right, is as, financially down bad as Barcelona is right now, you look at all of that missed revenue and think, what are we doing? Why are we working with a partner who's not cutting us into as many revenue driving opportunities as possible? But then on top of that, right, you also think, how much did Puma give Man City to get that deal, right? How much is Adidas giving to any one of the clubs that they're working with or the leagues that they're working with to really kind of be their outfitter? And on top of all of that, Nike, in my opinion, over the last like 3, 4, 5 years has only gotten worse in terms of their designs. Less creativity. I don't even like half the Nike kits that I buy anymore. I kind of buy them purely out of solidarity and support of my clubs. But with Barcelona specifically, right? I mean, there's nothing very sexy about their kits, and I don't know if those are reflected in the sales numbers per se. But yeah, man, this dispute with Nike is becoming very public very quickly. I don't know if it's going to be resolved by Barcelona taking matters into their own hands, right? That is kind of the rumor right now that they're going to start producing their own kits in-house. I think there's another club in the Bundesliga maybe that does it this way. I can't remember. I know there's a couple other clubs out there globally who do it this way. But it would be weird. It'd just be so weird not to see a Nike check in the corner of the kit, not to see Nike anywhere affiliated with the kits. Maybe we get a much better design. I'm not really sure, but I don't know. There's got to be a reason Nike has lost market share over the years. There's just got to be a reason why. We're not the only ones. Manchester City used to have Nike as their outfitter. And of course, I think at some point, even certain Major League Soccer clubs had Nike as their outfitter. Now the entire league is run by Adidas. You see New Balance getting into, mixing into the fold. There's a lot, I think, of competition in this space, and for a team who needs every bit of revenue as like Barcelona does, there's options.
Yeah, I think in the football space, I feel like Nike just started getting too comfortable, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, basically every kid looks almost the same to me. It's like that I know that I know that Adidas kind of has the same thing where there's a clear obvious template,
Yeah.
but I feel like at least Adidas has done some things to make each club feel somewhat different while maintaining that template. Nike on the other hand, and oh my god, I saw those US League
Oh,
kids and
yeah, I forgot about that. Those are terrible, bro.
yeah, I was like, well, I'm not buying any jerseys this time. So I was like, I got my Timothy Weah. I'm fine.
Yeah, bro. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know who's designing kits now for Nike football. I don't know if football's even a priority for Nike anymore. And that, look, that businesses pivot all the time. I
I
think
mean,
brands pivot all the time.
Nigeria's a disappointment now. Like I used to look forward to every Nigerian jersey that Nike has been dropping, and like now they've been kind of meh. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Look at any other league that has competition, right? And I say competition because for those who know what I'm talking about, like MLS, for example, there's no competition. Adidas owns the entire league; they outfit the entire league. But I think you look at other leagues, right? The Prem, La Liga, whatever. The contrast and styles and how the kits are designed. It's now cultural is what we're talking about. Kit culture is very much a thing, and it's never been more of a thing than it is now, which would lead you to believe that Nike would have more of a stake in trying to make these kits as creative and plugged into the club's histories as much as humanly possible. But that's not. I feel like they're going backwards. And so I don't know. I don't know where they go, but I do have a very, very strong feeling that there were rumors that Barcelona was potentially going to pull out of the deal early, like not even get to 2026, that we might even start like seeing a new kit sponsor as early as 2025. I don't think that'll happen. I think we see out our contract, but I see a real world scenario where we're rocking Puma Barca kits, or it's just a Barcelona sponsored kit, and you can only get it first party through the club, almost like on some Dallas Cowboys vibes or something. I don't know, but having control of where the revenue is coming from the kits that represent this badge and this club, I think is a major priority for them moving forward.
that's definitely important. And you mentioned Puma because Puma apparently are front runners for getting Barcelona, but Puma does have a feeling that Barcelona is just using them as leverage with Nike. You did mention Puma. Puma's kind of stepped up big time in the kid game. I mean, you look at what they've been doing with AC Milan. They just dropped those black and white kits that I was just like,
fire.
Take my money.
For
Also,
real.
but also they fat shame me. Jose, you're fine. I think you're good. I don't. I mean, I've never seen you in person, but you look in shape. I am a shape. But
Bro, I mean, I get it, man. They run a little slimmer, but
bro,
like
I got the Yunus Musa AC Milan, the pink purple one.
oh,
and I was
yeah.
excited. I was ready to wear that motherfucker. I was like, man, dude, I'm about to look like a sherbet. And bro, that thing is not I got a because like I know how Puma kids are, so I always get like a size bigger, just so just to cover myself and feel better about myself. And as soon as I put that, dude, I felt like I was wearing like the bicycle,
like spandex, bro, like spandex. Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
I was like, this has got to be like a kid's XL. There's no way. This is...
Yeah, bro, they're slim. I actually have I'm also an Arsenal fan for those who don't know, and like I got the 2016, 2017 Arsenal kit from back in the day, right, years ago. It's been in my closet forever. I still fit into it now. It's just obviously I'm slightly bigger now than I was back in 2016, and so it's slightly tighter. And so I get what you mean, but like it is, bro. Like it's only made for players, not for fans. Puma, maybe they've learned something. I don't know, because my dad, he's just a Pep Guardiola fan in general. So I take his football takes and knowledge with like a grain of salt. But he introduced me to Barca. But he's a massive Pep Guardiola fan, and like for that reason, right? He supports Man City. He supported Bayern Munich in the past. He just loves Pep Guardiola. And so he's a bigger dude too, and he rocks Puma kits for City, and they fit well. So maybe Puma's caught on to something, man. I don't think you're out of luck with any new kits that might arrive in the future. You're not going to wear a Barca kit anyway. But I think anybody else, if Puma starts getting market share, we start seeing a whole lot more of this, right? They're going to have to appeal to Americans, bro. And Americans aren't the most fit globally. So I'll just leave it at that.
That's a fair point. Very fair point. I just like food more than others. Okay,
It is what it is, bro. No judgment.
But yeah, no. But then Barcelona obviously mentions that they're considering making their own kits, which I obviously I had to do it. I had to drop the big baller brand joke at some point.
Yeah, I'll take it, bro.
Where LeVar Ball at? Hey, if you guys do join Big Baller Brand, you're about to sell jerseys for $500 a piece. So I mean,
not just jerseys, shoes, you name it, bro. It's gonna be apparel. Like it's not gonna stop with just kits if it's Big Baller Brand. I mean,
bro, y'all
about
to go buy Holland.
Yeah, bro, facts, man. And look, I will say this, man. Like that whole rumor is gonna be interesting. I think there's actually some truth to that. I think Holland, like just he would probably fund his own deal with how much he would sell and how much we'd make on him in revenue. But I think at the end of the day, like I don't know, man. This was like 10 years ago. I think there's no way we entertain the idea, Barcelona, of sponsoring our own kits. I think so much has changed with commerce in general, online, and the age of the internet, that I think there is a blueprint to doing this on your own. And I think that there's a way to make a whole lot more money if you were to go down that path. So if Barcelona does, they have such a massive footprint globally. They probably could if they could figure out the logistics side of it. But damn, bro, what a dropped ball by Nike. And again, I don't want to pretend to understand. Maybe Nike's making this intentionally difficult. Maybe they don't want to be in football anymore. I've seen them with their player endorsements slowly and steadily drop off over the seasons in recent history. So
I mean, not just in soccer though, because I mean, as I'm wearing an Astros jersey, there has been a lot of complaints about their newest drop of jerseys because they let Fanatics be the.
Yep.
Apparently, Fanatics has been like, we got this, guys, don't worry, and now they look fake. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, bro.
So yeah, Nike's been definitely on the hit list for a while now. So yeah, I definitely think Nike, not just in soccer, but also falling out in other sports as well. So.
And who knows, man? Maybe they're trying to go a different path. I think right now we're at an interesting, not to take this too far away from soccer or football, but like at the end of the day, like there are more sports right now that are in that fastest growing sports conversation that Nike may just decide that is like an easier sport to try and break into and dominate from top to bottom. Maybe football's too competitive, maybe baseball's too competitive, whatever it may be. And I say competitive meaning the more competitive it is as a business, the less money you're going to make, right? That's just how it works. You get to compete, you get to spend more on marketing, get to do higher price endorsement deals with players, everything, the whole 9 yards. But when you hear about cricket getting a billion or $2 billion investment, when you hear about all these random ass sports popping up, right? Like spike ball or like anything else. I mean, there's so much that's changing in the landscape that I just think maybe Nike is seeing opportunities elsewhere. But again, I think it just presents an opportunity for some of these guys who haven't had dominant market share, like Puma, to flex their creative muscles and put something together that fans are really going to enjoy in the most exciting area of kick culture. And so I like what City's been rocking. I'm not mad at it. I like what some of the national teams for Puma have been rocking. I'm not mad at it. I think there's massive opportunity for Barcelona to level up what they've been putting out to fans up to this point, at least in recent years.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say Puma. Just think about us. And when I say us, I mean the fat guys,
Americans, bro. To be honest, like just we're not all European, bro. We're not all just super skinny, slender people. Americans eat a little bit more than most. So think about us, bro.
I'm sorry that we have flavor.
True, very true, though. Very, very true.
So that's all I'm gonna say. I don't need people to remind me of other dumb things that I've said already in this. And it's not like I have a current jersey bet that's definitely biting me in the ass now. So it's not like that's happening or anything like that.
No, not at all. Not at all.
But the last headline, Paul Pogba, man.
God, Pogba.
This man is just, I don't know what's going on with him. Ever since he won the World Cup, and I'll go all the way back to 2018 when he won the World Cup, it just has not been the same for this guy.
Yeah.
Obviously the Manchester United nightmare goes back to Juventus and dealing with injury. I don't think he didn't play at all last year because I think he got injured.
Yeah.
And now he just got hit with a 4-year ban for failing his doping test. Did they say what he had? No, but in the test, it did say that his level of testosterone was elevated. So, I mean, you kind of know what that means. So,
yeah, performance enhancing in some way, shape, or form is. I mean, it's crazy. It's probably a talking point I think for this show. Because I when I heard about the news, I try to ask myself, is Paul Pogba the fastest fall off in history for a player who was touted to be a world beater? And I think it is. I think you can throw some other what if players out there, right? Like Neymar or some other ones that might come to your mind. We think about how much hype was around them as they were approaching their peak as a player. But I think, like you just mentioned, right, going to 2018 and how on top of the world Pogba was.
literally.
Yeah, bro, literally.
Literally.
Like just it's crazy that since then it has only gotten progressively worse until now, where you feel like this man has hit rock bottom. Getting a 4-year ban, I think for many players, maybe 98% of them, this would be game over, career over. This is probably it. Like, I don't know if I can sit around and try to stay in shape for a 4-year spell and hope that I get a shot. Equally, on the other side of that coin, I don't know if teams will be okay with a player like Pogba just sitting around and trying to give an opportunity, at least clubs of the stature that we've known to be associated with Paul Pogba. But maybe this is an opportunity for him to entertain. I don't know. Could he come back in 4 years and be a standout in Major League Soccer? Maybe, right? Could he come back? I don't know. Could he come back and be a Mason Greenwood for Getafe? Maybe. I don't know. That could be a possibility there too. And obviously the time difference there is massive. The gap in what I'm talking about between Greenwood and Pogba is massive. But nonetheless, man, it's just a huge blow to a career where we felt like we never really saw what he was supposed to become. And I think that with Pogba, like again, this was somebody I wanted at Barcelona. This was somebody that I thought was going to be just going to revolutionize the center midfield position, that we had never seen someone of his stature have the ball skill that he has and could cover that much ground on the pitch that quickly. We have Jude Bellingham now, and I think that's maybe the closest in terms of a box-to-box midfielder. But outside of that, dude, Pogba was a freak in the best way possible. And I can't recall off the top of my head another player who's fallen off from the top that quickly.
Yeah, I can't even. I really can't think of a name that at least that had the hype like he did. I mean, winning a World Cup, you know, and honestly, he kind of started the curse of the number 10 at at Juventus.
Yeah,
because after that, none of the guys that ever wore 10 were the same. But yeah, I know it's been insane to me with Paul Pogba. Like I kind of like how you felt. I thought that was a player I was hoping to get in Real Madrid. As a matter of fact, I did it in many career modes that I have added him on to Real Madrid.
I think that was honestly like the talking point when Mino Raiola was shopping him around. It was going to be Madrid or Barca. It's just a matter of time, and maybe, bro, United fans are going to slay me for saying this, but like maybe it was the United curse. You know, he went back to his parent, his boyhood club, where he was kind of slighted by Sir Alex Ferguson to begin with. Maybe Fergie was onto something. I don't know, right? No one's ever going to really know, right? But came back to United at a time where maybe he should have gone elsewhere. Maybe he should have found a way to make that move to Madrid or make that move to Barca, because I don't want to say United tanked his career, man, but he was a scapegoat for so much of that fan base that I gotta feel like it played some kind of role.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of Manchester United fans, which back to back, so many episodes where I end up talking about Manchester United in some weird sense. I think also with Paul Pogba, the part that everyone was having was this expectation, you know, what he was doing with Juve, and you know, they were hoping that it was going to translate, and I mean, it in hindsight it should have translated at Manchester United, but the thing is now Manchester United is a giant dumpster fire, so I don't think it's his fault.
Yeah.
At least I hope it's not. And also obviously coming off of the World Cup, and then for him to struggle at Manchester United, but then on the flip side, gets called up with the French national team and starts balling out again with the French national team. Now you have Manchester United fans with the conspiracy theories that, oh, he only wants to play for his country, which you think? I mean,
But that could be almost every player.
You could have fooled me. Like, I mean,
Yeah, bro, it's wild, man. I think, like I said, and everyone needs a scapegoat. Everybody does. Every fan base who wants to be pissed off about something needs a scapegoat. Pogba was that for United fans for years. Messi is somehow becoming that for MLS fans now because they need someone to get mad at for the problems that Major League Soccer is facing. I don't know, man. At the end of the day, people just want to rant about something. But at the end of the day, with Pogba, it's just such a shame, man. It's such a shame. I kind of hope that we see some kind of a remontada, right? Like a return to the game after this 4-year ban. Maybe they'll find a way to get it reduced to 2 years, and it's not such a career-altering phase of his life. But if the 4-year ban holds up as we all expected to, then life for Pogba will look very different if he decides to keep his career alive after this doping ban.
Yeah, because I mean, the 4-year ban, the part of it is, and let's be honest, he's 30 and he's gonna be 31 pretty soon, I believe. In 4 years, bro, that's 34, 35.
Yeah,
and it's harder to sell a player at that age. I mean, he's young though. He's full of life. I mean, it's a very young age. There's no way that I'm gonna sit here and tell y'all that 30s is old, in any shape or form. But but obviously in soccer, you're walking in crutches. Some actually literally.
Yeah.
But
would MLS team take him though?
I think so. I think MLS will get him regardless. I mean, just look at Inter Miami. But I think with 32, if he's able to get an appeal, if he somehow is able to get the appeal, you can sell a 32-year-old. Like you can that's a savvy veteran to some clubs. And I mean, and as long as he stays at has a high fitness level. And I think the spike of testosterone, maybe he was taking like a steroid given probably by a doctor, because remember, he was fighting, recovery for, I believe it was an ACL injury.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that's where it came from. At least it's just me being a defender of Paul Pogba, because I do have a French Paul Pogba jersey. So I'm a fan. So I'm hoping that could be the case.
Yeah.
Because and the real question is, how does Paul Pogba handle it though? Because it's a suspension. The ban's still going to be the ban, regardless of his 2 or 4 years. He's still going to be banned. How does he respond to it? Because I'll be honest with you, like what happened with Manchester United didn't respond well. This, you can say what you want about what happened at Manchester United, but he didn't respond, at least how you would hope that he would respond to it. And then obviously goes back to the events as you think an ideal situation. And I think at that point, I don't think it's a him thing. It's just he got put in just unfortunate situation after unfortunate situation, gets the injury, now has this ban for the doping.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. I think, like I said, there's still a few question marks left to be answered. I still think that when he does come back, even if it's a 4-year ban, he'll still be able to play. I just worry about how much his ego is going to play into that and how much he thinks he'll have left in the tank for top tier football globally, right? Specifically in Europe. I think that might be a harsh reality to cope with when the time comes, but there's still going to be an opportunity for him to play professionally 100%. And I think no one who is that good, and even if there is a fall off, no one who's that good and has the motivation to keep playing, there's no way that they're not going to be good enough, even if they're 34 versus 30. Like, I still believe that with where modern, medicine and footballing, coaching and technique is up to this point, just the sports science of it all, he's going to have every resource to make sure that he's ready to go if and when he gets called upon beyond this doping ban. But yeah, man, it's a massive letdown. Again, for me, right behind Neymar, he is one of the biggest what-if players ever in my time watching the sport. But I will confidently say, in my opinion, this is the fastest fall-off I've ever seen from a truly global superstar.
Yeah, I agree. And that's actually probably the perfect way to end headlines. So we're going to go ahead and take a break. You're going to hear me do Players of the Week and Games to Watch. But it's not the end for Jose. We're going to have him back because we're going to test his ball knowledge with we fixed the segment, Build a Player. So stay tuned. You'll see him back.
Righteous Felon Craft Jerky is the official jerky of Belly Up Sports. For over a decade, Righteous Felon Craft Jerky has led the American meat snack revolution by concocting delicious, adventurous, U.S.-sourced jerky recipes for uncompromising carnivores across the country. With 15 different flavors to choose from, Righteous Felon has all jerky lovers covered, and by using promo code BELLYUP, you will get 15% off your purchase at RighteousFelon.com. Do your taste buds a favor today and rip into a bag of Righteous Felon jerky.
All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed headlines and overreactions. That's not the end of Jose Tellez. You will see him in our newly revamped Build a Player segment. But Players of the Week is brought to you by SeatGeek. SeatGeek is an amazing app where you can get seats for concerts, sporting events, anything that needs a ticket besides going to the movie theater. SeatGeek has you covered. It has a very simple system, a color system to tell you on how the value of the seats are. If the seat is green, that means this is the great deal. Go ahead and buy. If you see it red, means look somewhere else because you're gonna find a better deal than that. So once again, man, if you guys go ahead, go to SeatGeek.com. If you guys have the app, download the app, SeatGeek, and use that code BellyUpSports. It'll save $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Once again, go to SeatGeek.com, use the code BellyUpSports, and you'll get $20 off your first purchase. So that's what you got to do. Go ahead and check it out. All right, Players of the Week, man. So Jose Tellez has dropped his Player of the Week, and that is Phil Foden, who scored 2 goals in Manchester City's 3-1 victory against Manchester United. Manchester is blue from here on out. And also Spencer gets another 3 points on for the singing bet table. Edward, he's got some ground to make up. Edward's Player of the Week is Paulo Dybala, who scores a goal and assist in Roma's 4-1 victory against Monza. Obviously, you guys know Edward has a very, very special spot in his heart for Paul Dybala. It's one of his favorite players, and so he has been following Paul Dybala, and here he is in Roma. So, and I mean, shout out to De Rossi, because this team is now, last time I checked, was in 5th place. So they are in a European position, which was crazy to think. These guys were almost in the mid-table when they fired Jose Mourinho, and De Rossi has definitely steered the ship right now over at Roma. And my Player of the Week is Josef En-Nesyri, who scored 2 goals in Sevilla's 3-2 victory against Real Sociedad. If you guys have been checking on the Ligue 1 tables and La Liga tables, it's not looking good for me. Obviously, you guys know that there's a jersey bet that I placed at the beginning of the year, and at the end of last year, for our end of the year episode, that if Olympique Lyon and Sevilla avoid relegation, if both these teams avoid relegation, we will be doing a jersey giveaway. Once again, I'm going to give you guys a hint ahead of time. It's going to involve YouTube. So if you guys want to, subscribe to our YouTube channel right now, because it looks more than likely that this jersey giveaway is going to happen. So go ahead and subscribe to us over on YouTube, because once again, that is the only way you're going to know how the jersey giveaway is going to be done. So make sure you guys check that out. But congratulations to Phil Foden, Paul Dybala, and Josef En-Nesyri for being our Players of the Week. Once again, thank you to SeatGeek. Check them out, man. SeatGeek.com. Use that code BellyUpSports to get $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Thank you so much to SeatGeek for being our presenting partner for Players of the Week. All right, guys, there is some games to watch this weekend. The USL Championship kicks off this weekend, man. If you guys want to see what the hype is about USL, this is your chance, man. Go watch some matches, man. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. So check them out. Will Phoenix Rising be able to prove everybody why they won last year? We'll see. I'm not going to say defending, because you guys know I hate defending champs, that term. Also, the Women's Gold Cup final is happening this weekend. Go ahead and check it out. As a matter of fact, as we're recording this right now, USA is shellacking Colombia right now. So we'll see who's in the final. I don't know, because, well, recording this right now on Sunday, so I can't tell you who's going to be in the final. But I know USA is going to at least advance to the next round. So maybe they're going to be there. But yeah, so that's what's going on. In MLS, we got LAFC versus Sporting Kansas City. LAFC got really embarrassed in a blizzard game in Real Salt Lake. So we'll see how they respond against Sporting Kansas City. FC Cincinnati versus DC United. Just an interesting matchup. Want to see what happens there. In Liga MX, we got America versus Tigres and Chivas de Guadalajara taking on Club León. In Liga 1, we got RC Lens versus Brest and PSG versus Stade de Reims. It's very interesting what's going on right now at PSG. They have been benching Mbappe. They've been playing him for very few minutes. Are they being petty for him talking about leaving PSG? Maybe. I can't tell you. I don't know what's going to happen. I still can't predict the future. I know everyone keeps telling me he's going to Madrid, but trust me, I am not going to believe it until I see him in a Madrid jersey. In the Bundesliga, we got Werder Bremen taking on Borussia Dortmund and Eintracht Frankfurt taking on TSG Hoffenheim. So that is the Bundesliga. In the Serie A, we got Juventus taking on Atalanta and Fiorentina taking on the newly revamped Roma. So that Serie A is going to be juicy over there. In La Liga, we got Valencia versus Getafe and Las Palmas versus Athletic Club Bilbao. See, I don't just pick Barcelona, Real Madrid, or Atletico Madrid matches. There you go. Here's your proof. And in the English Premier League, we got Aston Villa taking on Tottenham and Liverpool versus Manchester City. It's going to be a real 6-point opportunity for one of these clubs to get themselves a more edge to win the Premier League title. It is number 1 versus number 2 this weekend, so be ready for that. All right, guys. So we're going to take a break, and then we're going to go right on to our newly revamped segment, Build a Player. Hey guys, this is Hector from the InsertName FC podcast, here to tell you guys about Canada Dips. It is a great tasting, superior alternative to traditional dip using CBD in a way that is radical, enjoyable, and effective. It comes in 5 core flavors: wintergreen, mint, citrus, mango, and American spice. Canada Dip CBD is the new evolution in dip, allowing guys to enjoy great, long-lasting taste without the downsides. If you guys want to go ahead and try them out, use the code BellyUp20 at CanadaDipCBD.com. Once again, BellyUp20 at CanadaDipCBD.com, and you'll get yourself 20% off your purchase. Thank you again for Canada Dips for being a great partner of BellyUpSports. All right, guys. So every time we start a new month, recording in a new month, we're gonna always start with a Build a Player segment. So I'm gonna try to invite different people to come on to challenge themselves to see how good is their ball IQ. So this is how we're gonna do it now, because unfortunately last time we did it, it was definitely a huge train wreck, and I don't think anybody needs to ever see that ever again. So
all right,
but if you guys want to, go watch the episode.
Hell yeah.
So here's how it works. So there are some qualities that I have presented to Jose. Jose has sees them, and they are passing, intelligence, strength, endurance, work rate, speed, technique, and finishing. So those are the qualities that Jose is going to have to pick a player for. Once he picks that player, he cannot use them ever again. And the topic is what I'm about to drop on him. And obviously we're talking about how Americans, the American soccer belief, right? His goal is to make soccer cool in America. But unfortunately, we have some Americans that I won't say are dumb, but believe that a lot of their current American players that play other sports, if they were to have switch over to soccer, they would dominate the sport.
Interesting.
So the topic is going to be, Jose, American non-soccer players.
Oh, dude, this is good. Okay, because this is actually a crazy debate that a lot of people have. Like if somehow, sure, like LeBron James was going to play soccer, I don't know. And we do have a LeBron James with soccer, by the way, right? His name's Christian Pulisic. But I will say this is a really, really interesting one considering the categories that we have. So, how much time do I get per category?
You got free range here.
Okay, cool. Bet. All right, sounds good. Which one are we starting with?
We'll start with passing.
Ooh, man. So they obviously the rule is they can't play soccer. They can only play another professional sport that resides. The league is here in America.
Yeah. And they have to be American.
So. And they have to be American.
So no Luka Doncic. no Luka Doncic.
Damn it.
No Steve Nash.
Oh
Let's
man,
keep
see,
them current. Let's keep it current.
keep it current. Okay, keep it current. Current players, current American professionals in sports. Okay. So passing, man, I think I gotta give it to. So there's a player that I feel like right now off the top of my head that I think would make sense for two different categories. So we got to use them for just one. Mm. Man, I think passing. I'm gonna give because he's a point guard, bro. Steph Curry. And people will say he's the 3-point king. He's a finisher just by sheer definition. I agree with that, but I think he's an underrated passer of the ball. I think he finds teammates in really interesting positions. He is a shooter through and through. But man, passing is such a big part of basketball. It's a big part of who the Warriors are. Yeah, bro. I think he's an elite level passer. I think if he had started playing soccer from the very beginning, would we see Xavi El Maestro vibes? I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
he
really
definitely
know.
has
Maybe.
good vision. He definitely has good vision.
Yeah. So I think that's all part of passing, and I think he's an elite level passer.
All right. Let's go to intelligence.
Oh God, this could go a number of ways. How do you define IQ in a sport that has nothing to do with foot-eye coordination? IQ, man, this is gonna be difficult, right? Like if I think about the NBA or the NFL, intelligence, do they have to be actively playing right now?
Actively playing.
Damn. Because part of me would have gone like, honestly, like TB12. Part of me would have gone like TB12 if I wanted to keep it kind of that on par with like the American sports mantra. Dude, this is great. Intelligence. I don't want to go with NBA. I want to go somewhere that's different. Let's take NFL. NFL. High IQ player, NFL. Man, I think I'm gonna go with. Does it have to be a player? Can it be a coach?
Player.
Damn. Man, there's so many interesting ways we can go about this. Bro, I'm gonna go with. He could be technique too. I'm gonna go with Pat Mahomes, bro. I'm gonna go with Pat Mahomes.
Okay.
And anybody could say that I that's the passer. That's who you should have picked. I agree, and this is why I picked IQ though. I think at the end of the day, man, this guy's probably going to end up rivaling the GOAT conversation at the NFL when his career is done. I think you only do that by being smart as hell. He knows when to use his legs, knows when to use his arm. You don't get to as many championship-worthy games without being a high IQ player. And this guy knows football better than just about anybody. Rocking a dad bod subtly while doing it. Yeah, bro.
And you could definitely say student of the game. I feel like you would think of Patrick Mahomes.
100%, bro. I think Pat Mahomes is a very, very high IQ player, but that's one of many skills, which is why I teetered on that response for so long, bro. Like he could honestly fit a number of these categories.
The dude's been drawing up plays for Kansas City as well. So I think that's a really good shout.
Awesome. Okay, let's use that one. So I can't use Steph, can't use Pat. Shit, man. All right, these are such good players that I hate only being able to use them once.
All right,
it's crazy.
Strength. I think that you could go multiple ways here. This one.
Oh man, strength. The strongest guy. Who's the strongest guy in professional American sports? I kind of want to go with part of me wants to go with like a UFC fight or something like that, or like an MMA fighter, just someone that's like massive. But would they be the strongest guy in soccer? And I think also, Hector, what do you think of with strength as it pertains to just this sport alone, soccer? So I could kind of make the translation a little bit.
At least for strength, obviously I kind of mix it with physicality. When you get into like set piece situations, it's always the one that can push a little bit more with their body to put themselves in a better situation. And obviously also for defenders, strength is always going to be an important thing, especially when you're going on a 1v1, even just being able to like force a little bit of movement to affect a shot for a player. At least that's where I would feel strength comes into play.
Yeah. Ooh. See, that's interesting. That's honestly, you went in a little bit of a direction that I probably wouldn't have gone, thinking about set pieces and whatnot. I always think of strength as like your what do you call it? your center of control, your center of balance, right? Your center of gravity, like how well you're able to shield people off the ball, and like you don't have to be the biggest guy. You don't have to be the quote unquote strongest or most muscle bound fucking flex worthy dude. I mean, you could literally be this little 5'10" guy who's just naturally very, very strong and not even able to tell. But that's not a sexy answer. I think, bro, you know what? Just because he looks like a freak, man, I'm gonna go kind of with off the wall answer here. He's got to be all kinds of strong because of just the guy is just a freak in every sense of the word. I think he's still playing, bro. I'm gonna go with Dwight Howard. Strength.
I mean, he is playing in China, so
does that count? Does that count?
I'll give it to you. He is
okay. Bet.
Still an American athlete, so. Still
American athlete. And guys, I mean, look at this dude, bro. He's got baby heads on his shoulders for arms. You know what I mean? Like the guy is just, I don't think he ever had to work out in his life to be as big as he is and as strong as he is. He should have had a better, in my opinion, a better professional sports career than he's had up to this point with everything that's been God given to him in terms of sheer ability. But at the end of the day, I've still seen him slam and weight room some people more than a few times. So I'll just go with Dwight Howard for that one.
All right. Endurance.
Oh, bro, this is longevity. I mean, I think at this point it's got to be LeBron, right? I can't think of anybody else. Like to me, he is the only reason that there's even a debate on who the greatest of all time is, right? As somebody who grew up in Chicago and in that era, it's hard not to say Jordan because of what, just his sheer mentality, his ability to not give a fuck what anybody thought. Didn't really care about longevity that much, but I don't think anybody in the 90s really did. Across a number of things, not just sports. Like, I don't think anybody cared.
that Chicago Bulls documentary that came out during the pandemic when you had, what was his name? What was this? Rodman. Yeah, Dennis Rodman chugging a fucking Miller Lite, then hopping immediately on a motorcycle. I was just like, with no helmet. And I'm just like, man, the 90s was just a different breed.
90s was wild, bro. Like I said, the people's abilities, athletes' ability to push their bodies in weird ways and just still be able to deliver performances night in and night out. I tip the hat. But LeBron's a different beast, bro. Like I said, what's he on 20 years just about?
And he just dropped 40,000. He just dropped his 40,000 point.
Yeah, bro. I mean, the sheer epitome of endurance and continuing to play at a high level while being at this work rate. He reminds me of who's this the 56-year-old Japanese player who started off at Sao Paulo, but literally the only player to see 5 decades as a top tier professional player, and now at 56, I think he appeared in the Asian Cup as well. Still doing it. That's LeBron. That is the LeBron equivalent for soccer, 100%.
He's playing against former guys as kids,
bro. For real, yeah. The dad is coaching them on how to approach that player 1,000% because that man's still doing it, bro. I mean,
it's LeBron
wild.
Might be able to play with his own kid if you want to think about it.
Yeah, bro. It's like wild to me when you really think about just how long that guy's been doing it. Yeah, I was gonna think about like maybe another one, but I think endurance wise and just being able to last and have the longevity to your game. Yeah, bro. I mean, if Tom Brady was still in the league, it would be such a coin toss between those two players.
Yeah. All right. Work rate.
The hardest, just the guy who flat out doesn't stop, or like how would you define work rate? Hardest working on certain plays, like because work rates it's so dependent on a position in soccer, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, obviously when I think of work rate, I think of Danny Carvajal. That's just me personally.
Interesting. That's like an interesting take on the work rate front. And again, Danny Carvajal's a massively underrated player. Like a lot of fans, I imagine, especially here on this side of the world, don't spend time like just watching all the runs that he makes or what he does and how he helps other teammates out on the pitch. Like that's actually a good shout. I agree.
He's not necessarily the most gifted player on the pitch, but he's definitely the one that outworks everybody on the field.
Yeah, I can see that. But is it? What do you mean outwork? Like he's just covering more ground, he's outrunning them, or he's getting stuck into more tackles? Like I'm just trying to think of the way to make this
it's a mixture of that and also just not afraid to go do that extra, take that second win and go after it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. So let's go outside of the mainstream sports for a second. Work rate. I think, bro, if you had to really, it's such a shame that I can't use guys like, I should say like Doncic, man. That man carries the Mavs right now. But maybe something off the wall, like, and maybe I don't know this. So if you're a tennis player, don't judge me too much. So Djokovic isn't still playing, is he? Novak?
Oh, is he American?
Oh, I guess that's true. He's not American.
Yeah.
Federer's not playing anymore. I guess maybe like someone like even like Acuna in the NBA or in the MLB?
I mean, it doesn't have to be men. I'm just gonna point that out.
That too, actually. You know what, bro? You know what, bro? That's actually a very good point, man. Thank you for opening up my vision a little bit. Damn, the Olympics are coming around the corner too, so some interesting stuff there. Bro, Caitlin Clark is a beast. And I'm not gonna pretend to sit here and watch I watch WNBA all the time, man. But I've seen enough highlights to be like, damn. I mean, and heard enough stories to be like, man, she might be one of the hardest working people in the room, regardless of where she goes. There's so many past athletes that epitomize this really, really well. But I watch so much footy right now that it's so hard to be like, oh man, that person in that sport's 100% it. Bro, let's go with, just for the sake of wanting to be all inclusive and let's, a little bit of diversity on the show. Yeah, I think it's gotta be. Is Caitlin Clark still playing? She is still playing, right?
Yeah, she's in college right now.
Yeah. Let's do it, bro. For Iowa, right? I think. Yeah. Or did I make that up? Did I make that up?
No,
okay.
No, that's Iowa.
Okay, cool, bros. Yeah. See, I know a little bit of WNBA or just women's basketball in general. And again, I don't want to.
Highlight reel is just
insane,
amazing.
bro. Yeah. Insane.
She's definitely her.
It reminds me of, like, again, I haven't paid attention to women's basketball, over the years, but I do remember like watching all the famous UConn teams that have come through over the years, and like I remember the hype around like Diana Taurasi, for example, right? Yeah. When she was kind of coming through and she kind of left WNBA after she transitioned. I think she's now considered to be one of the greatest players to ever have come through. I think Clark has a completely different skill set, but for, which I think is going to give her the opportunity to be maybe even better. We'll see, more prolific. Yeah, bro. I say work rate for Caitlin Clark.
Yeah. All right. Good. All right. Speed.
Bro, maybe I should just pick like a track star.
You could.
You could be the one to do it. No, this would be the one to do it. Speed. But man, I kind of want to pick somebody that I think is genuinely fast as shit and that people don't talk about. Even a soccer player that's just people don't talk about as being like insanely fast. Like what DeAndre Yedlin used to be, because he was just a pace merchant, had nothing else to his game. I still kind of believe that, by the way. Or like a Jordan Morris, right? They're all these guys are just phenomenal speed. Bro, I'm going to say if I was building a player with this quality, I'm going to keep it soccer related. Liga MX specifically, bro. I'm going to say the new Chivas man, Cade Cowell. I think that guy is unreal fast.
Isn't he a soccer player? It's not American non-soccer players, remember?
Oh, non-soccer player. Damn it, bro. I forgot about the non-soccer rule. Man, I damn. This was tough, bro.
That's a perfect example of what a pace merchant is, though. So.
Yeah, bro. Oh, you know what? NFL can't do Mahomes. How fast is Jalen Hurts?
I mean, there's definitely one guy, a receiver in Miami that's.
Yeah, it's true, but that's like low hanging fruit. We all know Cheetah's fast as hell, bro. We all know he's fast. We can say Tyreek Hill for the hell of it. I'm totally down, but I kind of want to pick someone that's a little bit low key, and I feel like QBs don't get love in the speed department. Let's go Tyreek Hill, but I want someone to answer this for me. I'll just Jalen Hurts. I feel like is for whatever reason unreal fast, and I don't know who's faster, him or Mahomes.
Oh, it's definitely Hurts.
It's definitely Hurts. I feel like Mahomes covers a lot of ground though.
He does, but he's definitely more of a pocket passer than. I mean, Jalen Hurts is also a pocket passer, but I mean, when it comes to, they literally use the option plays because of Jalen Hurts. So
yeah, the speed he has. Yeah, bro. And I kind of like that. It's just like yeah, I we'll go with Tyreek Hill because right, he's stupid fast. If I had anybody that fast, it would be a massive leg up on whoever I was playing. So yeah, we'll go Tyreek Hill, but I want to see how Jalen Hurts stacks up. That's a really cool comparison.
All right, technique,
bro. Is there a better shooting technique than Klay Thompson?
No.
Like, is there a better shooter? I don't know, man. People will say Steph Curry, right? Which is why I can't use him, but his form is weird. Like he grabs it and just like chunks it from the hip, kind of.
Yeah.
I feel like Klay is just a very aesthetically pleasing shooter and just gets it right almost every damn time.
Yeah,
Knocks him down for
he's
fun.
a splash brother for a reason.
Yes. So yeah, bro, that technique is flawless. I'm not even gonna give you anything more on that. I think that's where we go.
All right, and the last one, finishing.
Finish him. Man, what is finishing in some of these other sports? Because they're scoring, right? They're scoring points. Who's the best scorer? Do I just throw Kevin Durant into that mix? Do I go NFL and just like I already used Pat Mahomes. Who's the highest scoring offense in the NFL? It's probably the Chiefs, no?
Like probably.
Yeah, probably the Chiefs, no?
It might have been the Ravens, actually.
Yeah.
Let me see, 2023 NFL.
Tell you what, for technique, I definitely wouldn't go Lamar Jackson either, for being honest. But just thinking back on some of the comparisons we've made. The best finisher. Just the clinical finisher, right? Someone who's gonna knock it down just about every time, regardless.
Oh shit, it was the Dallas Cowboys.
Was it really? That's even more sad, considering how the season ended for the Cowboys. That's actually terrible, bro. And I'm a Cowboys fan, but like I'm such a jaded fan at this point that I don't even get upset when the team bows out of the playoffs every year. It's just like it's another year. I can't pick a Cowboy. That would be I guess I could. It's just that like it'd be so ironic to pick a Cowboy for the finishing. You know what I mean? Considering we're the worst finishers every season.
Fair point. This is a very fair point. I mean,
you can't be a Cowboy for the finishing category, bro. That's like that'd be blasphemous. I'm trying to think what I want in a striker and how I mirror that to like another professional sport. Yeah, just someone who I know is clutch, I think. Just whatever they do, they score points and they're extremely, extremely clutch.
I mean, when it comes down to it, you know that person's going to get the job done.
Exactly. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts. They're going to get it done. You know what? Actually, not a finisher in the traditional sense, and I can use a Cowboy for this, but not the offense, because the offense pisses me off. And in a weird way. Actually, can I switch too?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna put Caitlin Clark for finishing, and I'm gonna put Micah Parsons for work rate.
Ooh, okay, yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I think Micah Parsons' work rate is. I mean, anybody here that watches NFL and watches that man play defense, especially for his size, knows exactly what I'm talking about. The guy is an elite. That's like he literally like skipped a whole year of college basically before coming to the NFL, which is why the Cowboys were able to get him in the first place. He is an elite pass rusher, and I feel like his engine just never stops. And then, of course, Caitlin Clark, we already talked about her, but she's probably going to go on to be one of the most prolific players in women's basketball history. So that's finishing through and through. She'll probably finish more than a few careers along the way as well. So yeah, man, that was hard. That was actually really hard. Like if you're like me, guys, if you're like me where I just watch footy all day, every day, and I squeeze in other American sports when I can, that's a difficult one. I like that, Hector. That was a good one, bro.
Yeah, appreciate that. I think this is way better than what the hell me and Edward did that first time, because probably also because Edward was very much fatigued, and he just at that point was just mentally unable to finish that. So this is a better option, I think, just challenging anybody. So I'm going to challenge anybody from GolzTV, from BellyUpSports. If you guys want to come on and build a player, I make the rules. That's part of it. I am going to make the rules, but if you guys want to come on, clearly Jose took the challenge. I actually like this player. I like this mix. Caitlin Clark is a dog. Her finishings and I hardly ever watch women's basketball. That's not just me being misogynistic in any way. I just don't.
Yeah,
I
same here.
don't watch college basketball. Period. Until it's March Madness.
Until March Madness. Yeah, I'm the same way, bro. Like,
So-
it's just like, it's one of those things where I get the exciting part brings me into the sport when the time of the year hits. But, you know, it's like anybody who doesn't watch MLB until playoffs or doesn't watch MLS until playoffs or whatever the case may be, right? It's only so much you can squeeze into your brain. But that was fun, bro. That was fun.
Yeah. So, Jose, thank you for coming on. This is your time. Go ahead and plug everything that you want to plug.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, bro. Look, all I'll say is that GolzTV, like I said every time, GOLZ.TV. Check it out this month, right? We're in March 2024 and beyond, between now and Copa America in the summer. A ton of new, and I will also say exclusive content coming to the platform. We have a pro club partnership that we're getting ready to announce, doing some big things with the USL, having some interesting interviews, and like I said, exclusive content segments that are coming to the platform. But in addition to all of that, there's just a lot of things that we're bringing to GolzTV between now and the end of the year that are only going to make the experience better for the fans. That means you tuning in. So if you can, check it out, GOLZ.TV. We are still in beta, which means it's still free, which also means that there will be a time in the future when it won't be free. Or at least some part of the experience will not be free. But that's okay, right? It's a business at the end of the day. And I think that when that time comes, there'll be more than enough value in the platform for everybody to enjoy, whether you're paying for it or not. So, yeah, man, that's my my one plug, my one shameless plug. And I will say, Hector, next time you do this build a player segment for April or any other month in the future, bro, bring me back. This was fun. I'm definitely gonna start tuning into some other niche sports. That way, when I give my shouts, people are gonna start Googling, bro. They're gonna start like, damn, Jose watches some stuff that I don't even watch, bro. I'm gonna start tuning in.
Man, this guy picked a rugby player.
I'm gonna pick a cricket player, bro. Watch. Be like, what the hell? Yeah, bro. Trust me, bro. It's gonna be fun.
All right. So thank you, Jose, for coming on, man. Always a pleasure to have you. All right. So we're gonna just go ahead and segue right over to me ending this show right now. So. All right, guys. So I'm kind of a moron. I forgot that I still have to conclude this episode. I was actually I was actually editing right now. So, yeah, so that happened. All right. So, once again, thank you, Jose Tellez, man. Check out GolzTV, GOLZ.TV. Check them out on Instagram and X. Instagram at GOLZ.TV and on the X at GOLZ_TV. So you guys could check out what's going on that platform and check out all the great content that Jose has done over there and all the content creators that he's invited over there on GolzTV. Wow, my face looks super white here. Check out BellyUpSports, man. Check them out, www.bellyupsports.com. Follow them on Instagram and X at BellyUpMedia and at BellyUpSports. See what's going on over there. Lots of great stuff that's happening there at BellyUpSports, especially check out some of the original programs, Corner Booth Podcast, High Low Sports, Rising to the Occasion, Time to BS, all that great and many, many more great content over there. And also check out some of the original content like Belly Up After Dark and some of the special shows they do for some big sporting events. So make sure you guys check out Belly Up Sports for sure. And of course, Roosevelt Spencer. If you guys like the intros and outros that you hear for our episodes, if you have heard our singing bets and was like, man, these guys kind of sound somewhat decent, well, Spencer is that guy. Go ahead and check him out on Instagram once again at, I don't know why I said once again, check him out on Instagram at that guy dope. Once again, at that guy dope. So you guys can get some beat work done. Message him, tell him that you need some beats, and he will take great care of you like he always does with us. So thank you so much for listening to episode 165. Catch us next week. I'll see what's going to happen for episode 166, but I'm sure it's going to be a banger nonetheless. So thank you so much. Catch us next week. Take care, guys.